Hi guys, it's Shauna from SBell Wellness. I'm here to talk about the subject of digestion and using essential oils and natural solutions for our digestive system. So I am going to share my screen with you so you can see some information. And oops. All right, so you can see some products here. We'll start to talk about them in a little bit. I just want to give a little background information for anybody who is catching this on record, just to know a little bit about me and why I have an interest here and information to share with you. So I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate. I'm an avid user of essential oils for all things wellness. I also am really involved in the integrated medicine model, so I see a naturopath. A lot of that has been for digestion, so I think I have some good information to share with you guys. And then with doTERRA, I'm really just spending time sharing my passion as well as helping others figure out how you can use these natural solutions for wellness. I'm also an occupational therapist. I work with kids. I do have my master's degree in occupational therapy. A big part of that was evidence-based practice, and so I do a lot of research, so a lot of that is what I'm bringing to you on various topics. And then I'm also a youth yoga instructor, so I spend a lot of my time helping students regulate, which has been a gift to myself as well. So today we're going to talk about all things digestion. And we'll start out just a little bit background knowledge-wise. A lot of the research is really pointing towards the root of illness originating in our GI system. We are finding a lot of the research coming out now is saying that certain bacteria actually is what can have a really big impact on causing stress. So a lot of times we used to think that stress happened, and so then we would get digestive issues, but many times the stress is actually originating in our digestive system based on certain bacteria getting in there, bad bacteria that's feeding on things that we're getting from our food and the environment, which then ultimately is impairing our immune system. So those things can result in mental and emotional challenges. Definitely nutrient deficiencies are happening, toxicity, which is a whole nother topic that I'm going to brush on tonight, but it is a big topic in and of itself. Inflammation for sure, and then our other organs and systems and disease. Our GI health, you guys, is essential for our well-being, and so we do have this brain-gut axis, and so that's the neurons from our brain to our GI system, and that's where all that information is coming and going. And so super important for our whole body functioning is this brain-gut kind of talking to each other, basically. And then so much in the research is really pointing towards the state of our gut flora, so that's really talking about these 100 trillion microorganisms that live in our intestines and communicate with our brain. And so they're really finding that a healthy gut is really able to really help our brain function. However, this bad bacteria that we're getting from the food that we eat or environmental things going on is really making it hard for our body to flourish. So the brain also communicates with the gut to control digestion actually through a lot of our hormones. So that's another big piece. And when I talked about immune system earlier, you can kind of see on here, but 70% of our immune system is actually in our gut. So if you think about that and think about how we spend so much time trying to make sure that we can stay well with our immune system, that I don't know that we're always thinking about gut health for that. But with this research, and I will say it's newer research to say that that we are finding that 70% of our immune system is in the cells of our digestive system. This one, you guys, is huge. So when I was learning about this, I really couldn't even believe that how connected our digestive system is to our mood. And so 90% of our serotonin, which is our happy chemical, is actually originated in our gut. I had no idea, actually. Having neurology classes and everything, this is kind of newer information coming out that 90% of that happy chemical is originating in our gut. So imagine that you've got this gut, you've got these issues going on, it's clearly having an impact on our mood and the mood of kids. And I think that that's a super important reason why we really need to tune into what can we do to support our digestive system. And another one of those really super important chemicals is our dopamine, which is our motivation chemical, and 50% of that is showing to be originated in our gut. So two super important chemicals that our brain relies on for our mood are really showing that are keeping our digestive system on track is super important for that. And so what we're showing is that people who take probiotics, which are supplements that contain the good bacteria, anxiety levels, just even stress, mental outlook, they're showing that, compared to others, I did not mean to do that, compared to those not taking probiotics, there's definitely a difference in some of those mental health things going on. And so here is doTERRA's probiotic. I've been taking probiotics for quite some time. Some of you have heard me talk about that before. And I've done a ton of research to really kind of look at, there's so many different options out there, upwards of 90 billion CFUs, which are the colony forming bacteria. And really what I found is that often is just a marketing scheme. We really don't need that high of a number. The 6 billion is really showing to be a really good number. It's usually between like 5 and 10 is what I have found to be like the best range. And so this one being at 6, I think is right on. And so really this is helping our body be able to have that healthy bacteria. And so you'll see here that we have the PB Assist, and then we have the PB Assist Junior. And the PB Assist Junior is selected specifically, those probiotic strains that are in there are specifically to benefit children. However, if anybody is uncomfortable swallowing capsules, then this is a good way to do that. It's just in a powder form. It can be mixed with water, or it could just be taken almost like you would eat a pixie stick. However, I think it's a little healthier for you than a pixie stick. So those are really 2 great options for probiotics. One of the things that I found too, I should mention about the PB Assist that is different than some other ones is that it is time release and double capsule. So it can really withstand that harsh environment of the stomach and be able to get to our intestines where we need it. So that's a super important thing when you're looking for probiotics, that if it's going to be able to withstand that harsh environment. So if you're seeing ones that need to be refrigerated and things like that, I do caution to kind of think about that. If you're needing to do that, is that really going to be able to survive the harsh environment of the stomach? So yeah, number 1, probiotics, definitely. I take these at night because our body is doing a lot of the digestion at night, and so I have found that to be super helpful. I should mention too, if you guys are looking at the bottle, sometimes it does say like to take it for a shorter amount of time, like you could take 3 a day for like 10 days. I just prefer to take it daily in a routine, and that works best for me. So if you're new to taking probiotics, you might see some variability there, but you kind of have to figure out what works best for you. And I think the daily one has been best for me. So we talk about breaking down our food, right? So that's a big part of digestion, right? That's what's happening. We're trying to break down, or the body's breaking down the food, getting our energy and our nutrients from it. And a really important part of that are these enzymes, these digestive enzymes that our body naturally produces. However, another thing that kind of floored me when I learned this was that for every 10 years of life, our body's ability to make these enzymes on its own is decreasing by 13%. So by 40 years, our body is about, has about half the ability to do that. So without these enzymes, you guys, our body can't absorb the nutrients. It's really, which then means that we are ending up with undigested food. I know that sounds really gross, but that's really what's happening. It's becoming putrid. And so it's passing on to the colon, causing inflammation, causing that bloating, that gas, all of those really uncomfortable digestive issues. So this enzyme thing is another really important factor to think about. And so we have these pterozymes, these digestive enzymes. And I will say when I started taking them, I was taking them like when I would eat a big meal, knowing that I needed some of that extra support. But the more I learned about them, I started taking them with every meal. So I typically take one with every meal. If you're dealing with chronic inflammation, chronic bloating, those kind of things, it's even recommended that you take them in between meals if you're noticing bloating. But definitely taking them with meals is helpful so that your body can get those enzymes and be able to convert the nutrients to the energy that we need. So these are super helpful for that. And they are a blend of whole food enzymes. We've talked about that in the past about whole food, how important it is to get it from those sources versus any sort of synthetic. It also has the tummy tamer in there, which most of our supplements do, just to really help anybody who has had that experience with supplements before where you kind of get some stomach upset. You won't get that with this because you've got the peppermint and the ginger and the caraway tummy tamer in there to help. So this is certainly safe and effective. I do have a note there that these statements aren't evaluated by the FDA. I always like to mention that, that being that they are not a food or a drug that's evaluated by the FDA. So that is something that is noted there. Nutrition. So nutrition is another big factor. Absolutely. We are not getting the nutrition we need from our food sources. A big part of that is just that standard American diet. Soil depletion, water depletion, those things are happening, you guys, rapidly in our environment. All the toxins, all the emissions, and all of these things are really impacting our soil, our water, which then impacts the quality of the food. Low-calorie diets can actually really impact the body's ability to get the nutrition. And then non-organic food consumption. And I know we hear about organic and we think about the pesticide component of it. But really what's happening when those pesticides go on to plants is that the plant actually stops making these polyphenols naturally. And the polyphenols is what the plant needs to fight disease and to ward off insects and all of those things. But chemically, when the pesticide's put on there, it's actually triggering the plant to stop making those polyphenols. So if we're eating foods with really low polyphenols, what that means for us is that we're not getting the nutrients we need for disease-fighting properties from the plants. So big factor of why making those organic choices when possible is something that is recommended for nutrition and ultimately our digestive system. Grain-fed animal products, you hear about this, right? But that, of course, is causing inflammation. in the animal, which then we are eating. And so that's bringing on those digestive problems. And then toxic exposure, which I had mentioned earlier, that there's just a lot to talk on that topic. And so I think that's a whole nother class in and of itself. So for nutrition, right, so we can't get everything we need from food. Are there ways to supplement? Absolutely. I do think it is crucial to get them from a whole food source. And so that's what you'll see with our doTERRA supplements. Here I have the Lifelong Vitality. So you're getting the Microplex VMZ, which are those 22 vitamins and minerals that we need. The bioavailable piece of that, if you're trying to understand vitamins a little bit, really means that they're much more readily absorbed than some other vitamins. These also have essential antioxidants that we need. We've got our energy complex in there with our B vitamins. Again, having that tummy tamer for those of us who may take supplements and feel like in the past has caused upset stomach. I have never had that issue with these. Again, whole food blends. And then you'll see here the XEO Mega. Those are your, your fish oils, your omega-3s that are important. And then this alpha CRS really supports that cellular longevity, really helping with that antioxidant, which has a lot of powerful polyphenols. So when I mentioned being depleted of polyphenols in the food, here's a really great way to get that. All right, additional digestive supports. For anybody who wants this, I can send it a link straight to the, but we have our digestive, Digest Zen, and several different products. So you'll see there on the left, that's our 15 milliliter bottle of the Digest Zen. And so that's the one that you could actually diffuse. You can put it in a roller bottle on your own. You can take it internally. And so that's a really great way to use the Digest Zen. You can use this reactively as well as proactively. So you can use it in routine just to kind of avoid some of those things if you know you have chronic digestion issues, or you can also use it reactively if you've got upset stomach, bloating, any kind of those things. You can definitely use it. The second one here are the soft gels, and so that's just a convenient way to do it. They're already, the oil's already in the supplements. Those are actually on sale this month of November. Those are 10% off for the month. That third one is the Digest tab. So that would be something similar to like a Tums would be, but these are coming straight from calcium carbonate, the mineral form of that. And so you've got things in here like anise and peppermint, ginger, caraway, coriander, tarragon, and fennel, all really great plants that are supportive of the digestive system. And then the last one's just our convenient touch roller. So that's already diluted with coconut oil and can be used conveniently that way. Peppermint's also just on its own a really good one. So if you don't have these and you do have peppermint, it's certainly an oil that is supportive of the digestive system as well. And so, you can have that in your roller. I tend to keep that one in my purse just in case you need it. And then I mentioned some of the oils that are in the blends, but ginger's a really good one for digestion, as well as lemon. So just to name a couple others that could be helpful if you already have them in your collection. And then how to use them a little bit. So here's a idea for like massage. You can apply them to your abdomen. You can apply them to the bottoms of your feet using reflexology points. So if you think about there are pictures of these things. Like if you have one of these Essential Life books, you can see the reflexology chart in there. But if you think about the insides of your feet, towards the like middle of the arch area, that's actually the reflexology points for our stomach. And so, and then a lot of the digestion areas like right around there. So that would be a good place to put the oils on the bottom of your feet. Hot baths, so taking hot baths when you're dealing with some digestion things, using these oils specifically in a handful of Epsom salts and soaking for 20 minutes can really help the body detox what's going on. And I actually like to use ginger and lemon for that when I've had some upset stomach, and that's been super helpful in the bath. You can also take them internally like I talked about. You can put the drops right under your tongue. Hold them there for about 30 seconds and then going ahead and swallowing. You can sip a few drops in water or tea, and then taking a few drops in capsule is also, it is recommended that if you have something going on acute, then you would take it every 30 minutes until your symptoms subside, and then every 2 to 6 hours after that. So that's if something is just coming up. If you have some more chronic things going on, then you just want to use it in routine so that you can get that going. Diffusing, I talked about that. So just 3 to 4 drops of one of those oils in really can help get that message to the brain. And we talked at the beginning how we have that brain-gut connection. So taking it in that way is a safe and effective way as well. And then this one's kind of cool, the navel drop. So you can put just 1 drop right into your belly button, and that supports that absorption and supporting digestion too. So some different ways to use them. All right, so anybody who has not shopped before, you can check these all out on my website. The best way to shop, I think, is the membership, because you just pay that $35 and get 25% off all year. There are some enrollment kits that waive that. Digestion is in several of the enrollment kits, so that's a really great way to get that. If you're already a member and you haven't joined LRP, we can chat about that. It's certainly a really great way to get your shipping back in points, as well as some product credits depending on how much you're shopping, which is really great to see those points rack up and be able to get some free oils and products. And then I'm always happy to talk about sharing. So you can explore that a little bit with me if that's something that you want to think about. If you're sharing these oils with others, might as well get some credit for that and be able to enjoy your oils at lower cost or no cost to you. And then, of course, all my members get a welcome gift and all these ongoing classes in education. And then I often do members-only incentives as well. Here's my contact information. If you're looking to get started, I'd love to help you with that. If you have questions about anything, this is an easy way to get in touch with me. I hope that you're following along on SBell Wellness over on Facebook. I do tend to post on there pretty regularly so that we can all be learning more about this together. And then here is to Happy Bellies. So hopefully we have learned something together here tonight, and we'll be able to take that with us to help our digestive system. I'm going to stop that. All right, so I hope that this was helpful. I'm going to stop the recording